Hello, I'm Travis, and I've made it my personal mission to interview everyone on the face of the planet Earth. Today, we have a very special guest on the program, a Canadian. Hello.
Hello, sir. How
Hi.
are you doing?
I'm good. What's your name? My name's Travis.
My name is Jordan Peterson.
Cool. How do you like the weather?
I like it sunny and not too humid.
Oh, I like it when it rains.
Hey, fair enough, man. Knock yourself out.
So your name is Mr. Peterson.
It's Dr. Peterson, actually. Well, so far.
Oh, so far. What do you mean by that?
Well, there are some bureaucrats who don't approve of me in Canada who would like to stop me from practicing my trade, let's say.
Is this Justin Trudeau himself?
No, it's a variety of his evil minions.
Oh, okay, like Greg?
Evil, ideologically obsessed minions.
Okay, so I understand you're undergoing some sort of re-education.
That's the theory.
That's what I've been told.
It's definitely the case.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm appealing that at the moment. So far, they haven't been all that effective at re-educating me. It keeps turning out that all the things I said were true and that the evidence for that continues to gather. So by the time they do haul me over the coals, they're going to look even more foolish than they already look, which is really quite a remarkable accomplishment. I can't imagine how the College of Psychologists, that's the regulatory board, is going to find someone daft enough to sit and re-educate me.
Sure. Well, how do you know they haven't started secretly and they're implanting things in your life to re-educate you?
It's certainly possible.
What if I told you I'm with the College of Psychologists?
I would say you're not doing a great job of re-educating me.
That you're aware of.
Fair enough, man. You might be one of the most subtle people I've ever met.
If you had Justin Trudeau, sitting somewhere and he was strapped to a chair, and, in that movie, A Clockwork Orange, and his eyes were strapped open, that sort of thing, and you had to re-educate him, why don't you try to do that? Go.
Try to re-educate him?
Yeah, that's me. I'm Justin Trudeau.
I don't think I'd be willing to do it, unfortunately.
Oh, well,
There are none so blind as those who will not see. Right.
But I mean, his eyes are strapped open.
Yeah.
So he can see.
Physically, but not metaphysically.
Oh.
You can be able to see physically and you can be blinded ideologically.
Oh.
And that can be a worse form of blinding than actually lacking vision.
So you said you were a doctor. Oh.
I'm a psychologist, actually.
Okay. Is that what you do for, a living?
Mostly I lecture publicly and write. I'm an author.
Okay. So you're like Hillary Clinton, where you get paid to, go places.
I'm more physically attractive than Hillary Clinton.
I mean,
I'm on the road a lot. I've been in 600 cities in the last 5 years.
oh, so you're actually pretty famous.
Yes, I would say that's
Oh.
fair.
Let me shake your hand.
No, I don't think so.
I've just never shaken hands with a Canadian before.
It is quite a privilege, I must admit.
Yeah. So you keep clarifying, I'm a psychologist, not a doctor.
Right. I'm not a physician. I am a doctor.
But you didn't go to medical school?
No.
Oh, I see. Okay. So like a psychiatrist, they do go to medical school. Is that correct? So Dr. Fraser Crane would be smarter than you. And by inference, we can infer that Kelsey Grammer is smarter than you.
I would say that's a perfectly logical inference.
Okay. So we know who you are, but why is Jordan Peterson?
Apparently to cause trouble.
Oh. Neat. That's cool. So did you know that your initials, JP, they're the same as Jurassic Park?
Now that you point it out, I can certainly see that that's true. What do you make of that?
Well, I mean, I like that movie. I didn't like the sequels as much, so. I looked you up on Wikipedia last night. I don't have a Wikipedia page, so that's pretty good. So congratulations on your
Thank you,
Wikipedia
sir.
page. Yeah. So on that page, it described you as classic liberal. But I thought liberals were bad. Are you bad?
Depends on who you ask.
What if I'm asking Jim?
You'd have to ask Jim.
Well,
I'm not.
he changed his phone number.
I see. I see.
haven't
Well,
talked to him in a
was he a friend of yours?
A colleague.
Do you have any friends? These would be people that you're in contact with on some regular basis?
So you wrote some books or something.
Yes.
One of them is called 12 Rules for Life.
Yes.
The Antidote for Chaos?
To chaos. Antidote to chaos.
So is that
yes.
like chaos theory, like, going back to Jurassic Park?
Not specifically.
So it's like Dr. Ian Malcolm talking about chaos.
Jeff Goldblum, it was Jeff.
Yes.
He's actually not a chaos theorist.
So you're on a first name basis with Mr. Goldblum. That's nice.
I know his first name.
Oh. So you wrote a second book.
I did.
Well, you
and
wrote
a third.
And a third. And one of them was
And now a fourth.
the fourth book. What's that?
It's called We Who Wrestle with God.
Oh.
I'm doing a tour in
You're
relationship
doing a
to that
tour so
book.
you can wrestle him?
Publicly, yes.
So it's like this is like WrestleMania.
It's the intellectual form.
So you like sit in a ring and people just stare at you and you're just thinking really hard?
And they pay for that. So
That sounds kind of boring though. I mean, you're just
hey man,
sitting
people
there.
come of their own accord. I just offer them the opportunity.
So would you try like an intellectual pile driver?
I do that regularly, as a matter of fact.
The reverse hemlock?
Good one.
Thanks.
No problem. Looks like we're getting along just fine here.
Yeah, you're looking like Jurassic Park 1.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So
You let me know if I wander into like second-rate sequel territory here.
I mean, you just interrupted me, so.
That didn't take long, did it?
You wrote another book, 12 More Rules for Life.
Yes.
All in all, that's over 23 rules.
It is just over.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I wrote 12 rules of my own.
I didn't know that.
Would you like to hear them?
No, not really.
I mean, they're pretty good, but
Be that as it may.
okay. Well, have you considered these 10 rules?
I have thought about them to some degree, and I lecture about them as well.
Do you think they're pretty good?
They're rock solid.
I get that. That's funny.
That's good. Good. I'm glad. My pleasure.
Well, I mean, I guess not. This is more like granite.
Or styrofoam.
You weren't supposed to point that out.
Oh, my apologies.
Okay. Well, you are known for your deep, vast knowledge of Jungian archetypes and using that vast knowledge to analyze Disney movies for little kids. Classics like Beauty and the Beast and The Little Mermaid and Cinderella 3, A Twist in Time.
A real classic.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that or not really?
I'll tell you about Geppetto,
Okay.
Pinocchio's father. He's in a whale at the bottom of the ocean.
Sure.
It's never explained in the movie. But everyone accepts it as reasonable, which is completely preposterous. Right? Why would you end up in the belly of a whale if you lost your son? A whale is a carcass. A carcass is a storehouse of value. The modern landscape is littered with storehouses of value. Harvard is a whale carcass. And whale carcasses attract unconscious scavengers. And they live inside, completely incapable of understanding what gave rise to the storehouse of value, but perfectly willing to strip it to its bones. And that's really the situation we're in right now in the West.
Oh, I don't like that very much. So can you give a quick analysis of Super Mario Brothers 2 for the Nintendo Entertainment System?
No.
It's the one with the turnips, if that helps.
Right. I'm a little too old for that.
It was originally called Doki Doki Panic in Japan.
Those Japanese, man, they can really name things.
Well, I think it's just a normal word in their language.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Because the Japanese people are people.
When did you figure that out?
Well, it just came to me one day. I was thinking, they're just like you and me. They just like sushi.
Hey, man.
Do you like sushi?
Not particularly.
Oh. Have you ever had a lobster roll or anything
Yes.
like that? Okay. Because I understand you have an affinity for lobsters.
Apparently.
Yeah, I actually had lobster last night. I just thought that was an interesting coincidence.
It is definitely an interesting coincidence.
Commercial break. Inflation is on the rise. The dollar is in danger of collapse, and an overheated stock market could crash at any time. The upcoming election is only adding to the chaos. Fortunately, you can rely on the good folks at American Hartford Gold to help safeguard your financial future with physical gold and silver. Diversify your savings with precious metals delivered right to your door or in a tax-advantaged gold IRA. Protect your retirement from a collapsing dollar and crashing stock prices. Call 866-835-0822 today for your free information kit. Text INFO, INFO, to 998899. You can qualify for up to $15,000 of free silver. Gold has hit record highs and keeps climbing. Text INFO to 998899 or call 866-835-0822 today for your free information kit. Again, text INFO, INFO, to 998899 or call 866-835-0822.
American Hartford Gold.
So in Peter Pan, you gave an interesting theory on the crocodile
Yeah.
and chasing Captain Hook. And
Yes.
So can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So a crocodile is a reptile, obviously, and reptiles are predators. They're iconic predators. Creatures like us, primates, are instinctively afraid of predatory reptiles. It's not learned, it's innate. Chimpanzees are afraid of snakes, for example, even if they've never seen one. And so the reptile represents the predator to us, and a crocodile's an emblematic reptile. A crocodile with a clock in his stomach is time. It's the predatory nature of time. Why is time a predator? Well, because you age and die. And Captain Hook is chased by the crocodile, who is time. The crocodile has already got a taste of him. It's taken his hand, and he liked the taste. And so Captain Hook is terrified of death, and that's why he's a tyrant.
Well, I have a personal theory of my own. It's that the crocodile is chasing Captain Hook because Captain Hook is made out of meat.
Yes. You nailed it, man.
Good. Maybe I'll do speaking tours like you
Knock yourself out.
when I grow up, you know.
When you grow up, yes.
But, well, then the crocodile will chase me.
He'll chase you anyways, whether or not you grow up. That's the rub, man.
It's because I'm made of meat. Boo, boo, boo! Well, you know what that means.
Do I know? What does it mean?
It's time for everyone's favorite game. Beautiful, or sorry, not beautiful.
Oh, yes, that game.
Yeah, so I'm going to show this nice Canadian man here a set number of images, and he'll tell me if they are beautiful or, you guessed it, not beautiful. So check out this image. Beautiful or not beautiful?
Definitely not beautiful.
Okay.
Not beautiful. Not beautiful.
You sure?
Despite my reputation, yes, I'm quite sure.
Okay.
Hey, it's
Mistress?
Robert Crumb.
Yeah. He's nice looking, right?
He is. He's a very attractive man. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Check out this
Oh,
Trans
yeah.
Am.
Every cool guy in northern Alberta had one of those in 1978. That's definitely beautiful. Every guy who worked on the rigs, that was his first car. Those were everywhere in northern Alberta. Usually smashed up by the side of the road within a couple of months. There's very few people in the world more beautiful than Jeremy Boring.
Oh, sorry, I had that. I don't know how that got in there, but
I think we'll just skip that one.
But I drew it.
But hey, it's a beautiful drawing. Congratulations.
It took me like 5 minutes.
Oh, well, then you're very talented. No problem, man.
Thank you.
You just keep knocking it out of the park.
I signed it too.
I see that. I see that. Well, it's important to leave your mark on your art.
Would you like to have it?
Absolutely. It would be a privilege. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Definitely beautiful. Kind too. Yeah.
Oh, that's the beginning.
It is. It is.
All right, that's
All right.
the end.
All right.
You got 3 correct.
Is that good?
No.
I see. I see.
Ha! Gotcha. Boo! Yeah. That's my impersonation of a ghost.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah. I used to work at Not Scary Farm.
Were you a ghost there, or was that just one of your ancillary skills?
I worked in the food court,
I see.
but I wanted to be a ghost.
Fair enough.
They wouldn't let me. I mean,
Did that make you angry?
a little.
How angry?
About 2.
How often?
About a 4.
That's not so good.
Well, I'm afraid we're about out of time, so let's lighten things up with just a quick question for the road. How do you see the fight for free speech going in a culture that seems to be increasingly polarized and at odds with the classically liberal value of the right to free expression? And how do you see figures such as you and Elon Musk standing against the authoritarian regime, attempting to shape the dialectical landscape for whatever happens to be politically expedient?
I'm going to talk to Mr. Musk in 2 weeks. I'm going to ask him about X. I'm curious about whether he believes that the technology and the platform are actually salvageable. I think he's done a remarkable and brave job of taking over the X platform, and that it's serving a much more useful function than it did when it was regulated and controlled by the invisible woke mob. But I'm afraid that the technology itself facilitates free speech without responsibility. And that might be fatal. If you're in the real world, you have to live the consequences of what you say. Online, you don't. You can separate your opinions from your fate. That's a good way of thinking about it. So there's nothing really that keeps you on track. There's no responsibility commensurate with your, say, right to free speech. And I think that probably enables the psychopaths, because people can get away with saying anything. Well, and you might say that that's okay because people have the right to free speech, but if you're actually dealing with a person who's right there in front of you, no one can get away with just saying anything. There's all sorts of explicit and implicit rules governing the conversation, and all of that's lifted in the virtual space. And I'm afraid that that enables people who are psychopathic and narcissistic. It probably also tilts people who use those platforms towards narcissism and psychopathy.
That's great. I got to get...
Well, I'm just trying to answer your question. So the other thing that I would like to discuss is the fact that you need to think so you don't do stupid things.
I've got Broadway tickets.
You need, you need the right to discuss things in a manner that people might find offensive if you're likely to engage in the free speech that keeps your society intact. And so I guess really that's that's the end of that. Why did you want to interview me? Is it just part of the interviewing the whole world ambition?
You just first on the list.
I see. Okay, well, I'm glad that we...
I'm going to get to everybody. Matt Damon's next if he'll answer my calls. Did you see the Bourne Ultimatum?
I did. I enjoyed it a lot. But what did you think of it?
I thought the camera was too shaky.
How did you think it compared to Jurassic Park?
Not as good.
What about the sequels?
It was probably better than Jurassic Park 3.
How much better?
About a 3.
Three. Oh, that's about what I was thinking too.
Yeah. I think I would have preferred it if about halfway through the movie he, went back in time and got a dinosaur to help him fight Carl
I
Urban.
think when you interview him that you should suggest that and see, what he thinks.
I mean,
that could be a whole new genre.
Yeah.
Action, thriller, time travel, dinosaur.
I mean, we'll see. If he doesn't answer me the next 30 minutes, then it goes to Greg, and Matt Damon goes to the back of the line.
Well, there has to be consequences for misbehavior.
But after Greg is Carl Urban, so that's cool.
Who's Greg?
He's on the list.
Like everyone.
I hope you're happy you were first.
I'm indescribably thrilled
Good.
with the entire interview.
So how would you describe that?
3.
Thank you for watching Travis Interviews the World. Please be sure to like and subscribe. And leave a comment down below on who you'd like me to interview next. Would you like me to interview Genghis Khan? Attila the Hun? Fidel Castro? O.J. Simpson? No, he's dead. George Washington? Pat Buchanan?